On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably like a 15 for recommending Spyence to people. My name is Jessie Furlow, and I am the Director of Children's Ministry at Northwest Hills Community Church. What I like most about the Spyence curriculum is that it's engaging for a 5-year-old and a 10-year-old in the same classroom. There was a particular day that I remember watching. I was watching Kids Church from the back because someone else was leading. They were using Spyence, and I remember seeing it was 5th graders through kindergarten, all in that same room, and they were just tuned in to the Spyence episode. And at one point, it was the to be continued, and I remember looking at a kindergartner up in the front, standing, just waiting to see what was going to happen next, and a 5th grader in the back who was so disappointed that it was to be continued, and he was just like, "Just keep it rolling." So it was just so cool to see both ages super engaged in that one lesson and just waiting to see what was going to happen next. It just has something for each of them. Those 4th and 5th graders are ready to dive into more of those theological truths, and they have questions and want to apply their faith. And Spyence doesn't back away from some of those hard and challenging theological questions, but it's also very engaging for a younger kid who needs to be drawn in with video and explosions and superheroes. So I love that it can just be dynamic for many different ages. And I love the fact that it has strong female leads for girls. It's all prepped, it's all there, it's all kind of written out. So if you've got a new lead stepping in, you can easily train them to read through the lesson plan. It is straightforward and easy to follow and bring someone new in. And someone who is very experienced with it as well can easily lay things out and not have to go through a lot of prep and thinking and writing of what they're going to talk about. It has the transitions in there. It's got engaging questions. And so basically you're just kind of gathering a few supplies, which are all listed out for you, so that you can make these experiments happen. So you can have many different leaders stepping in with limited prep work and engaging hands-on activities for kids, which they absolutely love. The Spyence experiments are one of the crowd favorites. It's one of the best curriculums that I have seen, and I've used a few different ones, and several of them are just clunky and don't really flow well, or they're not engaging. They're too juvenile for the older kids or over the heads of the younger kids. And Spyence just meets all of those different needs for the age group that we've got. And it's easy to use and straightforward and flows very well. So yeah, I'd give it a 5 stars, 20 stars, 15 on a scale of 1 to 10. Another thing we've experienced in our ministry is that kids love variety. So if you use a curriculum that is a year-long curriculum, sometimes it makes a ton of sense to take a break and do a 6-week Spyence session or Spyence season and then head back to your normal curriculum. That's always an engaging thing. It's a great way to try out Spyence, to take a break from the normal and add Spyence in, and then see where it goes from there. As a mom, I got to experience my own daughter watching the first couple seasons of Spyence and going through that curriculum as well. And so it was fascinating to just see it through her eyes. She was starstruck with those Shark Rat Super Sisters. So that was so cool just to have her have someone who she really had as a hero and as an example in her life of a strong female character that knew scripture and wanted to know about Jesus and answer the big questions and was cool and, fought bad guys. And so that was very cool to see that through my daughter's eyes. One of the things that is great about Spyence is it has many different ways for kids to engage in the curriculum. So visuals and videos, as well as songs and printables. And so for all the different types of learning styles of kids, there's a way for them to engage and remember that curriculum. And there's little phrases and sayings, never give up, never surrender, that kids just grab onto. And so it's great for them to be able to retain information and know it and apply it throughout the week after that lesson. I really like the Spyence experiments. Just you can tell that they have been researched well and tested out, and they just work very well for kids in a classroom. I often, when I'm not using Spyence, I've tried to do my own research and figure out great object lessons that are going to be engaging for kids. And then you get in there and it's like, oh, well, that didn't quite work the way I thought. And that has never happened with Spyence. Those Spyence experiments are thought out and they give you that materials list and they work. And I hugely appreciate the effort that goes into planning those out and mapping those out and having them be engaging for kids. If you're considering Spyence, I would say don't hesitate. Get it now. It is absolutely a solid curriculum. It's theologically sound. It's engaging for kids. It can be used supplemental or as a main curriculum. There's just so much to love about Spyence. You won't regret at all getting involved in the Spyence curriculum.